What is up, guys, and welcome to a WrestleMania 34 preview. WrestleMania is in New Orleans. Fuck knows what the strapline is. The theme songs are shit this year, but it is WrestleMania season. We have been on the road to WrestleMania for the last couple of months. We've had the Royal Rumble, where we had the first ever female Rumble winner. Didn't come out properly. And then, who came out? The most not-looking female athlete ever, Ronda fucking Rousey, came out and announced herself there. So we had all that shit kicking off. And of course, the Royal Rumble was won by Shinsuke Nakamura, eliminating Roman Reigns at the last point. We then went to the Elimination Chamber, and there were starting to be those thoughts that maybe Roman Reigns isn't going to be main eventing another WrestleMania. Well, Vince gave us the big D like he likes to, and Roman Reigns is main eventing, I believe, his fourth WrestleMania in a row. And it's a rematch from WrestleMania 31. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. Now, that one was a singles match that turned into a triple threat, which I think was one of the best WrestleMania moments in history when Seth Rollins cashed in. But we're going to get into it. I do have special guests here. I haven't just got a list of my fucking voice for however the fuck long this goes on for. So I have got special guests in Lyle, who, of course, you'll know from the People's Podcast, and Harry, who, well, you won't know. And to be honest with you, that isn't a bad thing. So do you two want to introduce yourself to this whatever this is, after I just insulted. I mean, to be fair, I didn't insult you, Lyle, which is
that's actually...
oh, we got to say it on to the national press so they can.
Don't do it.
Lyle, congratulations for passing your driving test, and I think that deserves a clap.
Thank you very much. I swear, we've recorded about 17 podcasts, none of which have been out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm having some problems sending them across.
No, but it's literally...
YouTube seems to be...
It's like your operation before, your operation afterwards, me moaning about my driving test, me moaning about my love life, and they're all just for us.
Yeah, exactly, but that's a good thing.
That is a good thing, yeah.
We'll get them up eventually, even if they're, like, completely out of the point where... We can do them as bonus episodes when I'm a bit bored.
Yeah, we've got that one about Muhammad.
Yeah, we have.
For fuck's sake.
That's fully edited and ready to go.
I nearly said something controversial there, but we're only a couple of minutes in.
Oh, it'll be you first.
So we were having this discussion before the podcast about who's going to say it. Now, my money, ironically, is on Lyle to say something fuck shit. Harry, who's your money on? I mean, well, you just said me, so I take it's me.
It is you.
Lyle, who's your money on?
Well, fucking Harry. Definitely.
Well, there can only be one winner in this triple threat. Who is going to offend first? Pre-WrestleMania match. Harry, you haven't really introduced yourself, but they've heard enough of you. Let's get right into it then. Let's talk about the road to WrestleMania. Now, so, we'll start with you, Harry, because you haven't really introduced it. What, just in general, I'm not saying go through the whole road to WrestleMania. Do you think it's been a good road to WrestleMania, or do you think that the road to WrestleMania, which I'm getting sick of saying already, is actually not been that good? Put it this way. Do you think we're on the road, right? You know, our road to Big Bash was better than this?
Well, I think in terms of storytelling, I'd say the road to Big Bash was the best storyline wrestling thing probably ever. I'd say the build-up to Mania hasn't felt as exciting as it has done maybe in previous years, but on the flip side, I'd say the card is the best it's been for a long time.
Yeah, I actually agree. It doesn't really feel like WrestleMania season.
No.
And I don't know why. I don't know what you think, Lyle. I agree with Harry that there's the card's stacked as fuck. You know, you look at the names, you look at the matches, but I don't think it's overstacked like it was last year either. But, you know, what is missing? You're more of the casual fan now, Lyle, so you can give us that casual fan opinion on it.
Well,
to you, has this felt like a road to WrestleMania? Like, when I first started watching wrestling, you know, the road to WrestleMania was fuck shit. People would turn up here, there, and everywhere. You know, there'd be curveballs thrown in. Is it because it's been too predictable? Is it because the big stars haven't been there enough? There's not been enough surprise? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
For me, it's partially... I find it really hard to care about what's going on in SmackDown. That's just me. I tweeted about it the other day. So that's already cut my odds in half about the matches that I really care about. And maybe it's because I'm getting older. I don't know. I sort of... But, you know, once Sunday hits, you're going to feel excited. It's just how it is.
Yeah, my dick's already getting excited for wrestling.
God.
I'm going to be honest. I can feel that tingling sensation that I
that
always
the first
get.
bit? Was that appropriate, Harry? What do you think?
It'll get worse. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean that ain't offensive. It's going to get a lot worse. What I'm saying is that tingly feeling I get before the Royal Rumble and the WrestleMania. It's only 2 times in a year where I get it. I don't ever get it for SummerSlam because SummerSlam is usually overrated to fuck. And you know what actually happens at SummerSlam? Nothing. Let's talk about the pre-show. Well, actually, let's talk about... Harry, you said it could be 10 hours long. Now, I haven't read that anywhere. I mean, that surely can't be right. WrestleMania last year, a lot of the criticism with it was the fact it went on for miles too fucking long. Do you think WWE got to be careful not to fall into that trap again? And go
on. I'd say they don't really... I'd say the length of the show isn't really of their concern. I'd say it's just the quality that they care about. Not that previous WrestleManias haven't been absolute wank. But no, I'm not saying that it will be 10 hours long. It's just that I've read that there are rumours it could be 10 hours.
I mean, 10 hours is ridiculous. And it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter how good the matches are. That nobody's going to be interested for 10 hours straight.
But then that would make it... There's 14 matches on the card in total. You're looking at just over half an hour a match. You've got
to forget Kid Rock has got to do a concert in the middle.
Oh God,
he's got to do
toilet break.
He's got to do. We've got Hall of Famers have got to come out. There'll be some stupid fucking backstage segment. We've got to probably listen to Lillian singing, whatever the fuck.
Don't forget, Rock is probably going to come out and do something.
Yeah, The Rock will come out and just say something like.
Has the host been announced?
Actually, I think they do have a host this year, which is absolutely brilliant. Because WrestleMania doesn't need
this year.
Oh, don't tell me there's a host.
No, I don't want to say it. No, I'm not going to be the first one. Forget I said it.
Oh God, there's a host, isn't there?
Probably.
Who's it going to be? You got to say it now.
No, I can't say it.
There's even
because it's definitely too offensive.
All right. Oh shit.
Exactly
okay.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe there won't be a host this year at WrestleMania. I think Harry's getting his lines across a little bit. We've got 2 Battle Royals. One of them, let's talk about the women's one. Bit of controversy on the road to WrestleMania. Probably the most interesting thing about the road to WrestleMania was the fact they named the Battle Royal after a woman who was meant to be empowering women, and apparently, if you read what she did in the past, did quite the opposite. They've changed the name now. Should we give a fuck about the women's Battle Royal, or is it just a match to give?
What I want to know is, will there be a trophy given for the winner, and who will it be shaped like?
There will be a trophy, and I think it should personally be shaped. I think it should basically be a sculpture of Stephanie McMahon, because we all know she's
the best women's wrestler of all time.
Yeah, and she started the women's revolution. That's
cool.
You've got to understand. You know, so I think if we had a sculpture of Stephanie, you know, with a fake, she's going to look good fake. She's going to look good as a sculpture.
They should make it someone like China, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, they could. No, that's probably that is miles too inappropriate. I don't know. I think it's good. I just think it's going to be a normal trophy. But have they actually given the thing that I find with these battle royals is it's the same with the Andre the Giant thing. You know, because it's funny because they talk in commentary. They go to propel the career, right? Mojo Rawley and Baron Corbin, 2 out of the 3 winners of the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. You know what they're doing at WrestleMania this year? They're on the pre-show in the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. So, I mean, it really hasn't propelled their career, has it? Let's be honest. So, why the hell should I give a fuck?
I'm a US champion and Money in the Bank holder, even though that went nowhere.
But, you know, I mean, well, don't get me started on that because that pissed me off.
Mojo Rawley is like, you know...
He's shit, frankly. And they did it because they wanted... Well, they wanted it because they wanted that, whoever the fuck he was, to have the celebrity thing so that mainstream picked up. Which is fine, but I know Mojo was friends with him, but could we have just pretended that he was friends with somebody remotely interested, not that fucking idiot. But I mean, for me, the only way they can make this interesting is if they added the stipulation of the winner gets a US or IC title match. I
am interested to know why the winner never receives a mid-card title shot.
It just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Yeah, but
and does anyone actually believe that the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial is going to have anything other than a shit year?
well, they just have some
That seems to be
shine.
quite a cursed trophy.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have a nice little trophy that, well, it's not little, it's fucking huge, of Andre the Giant. But frankly, they're going to do nothing for the whole
Well,
year.
they've just got that title stapled to their name.
Corbin had, a decent.
Yeah, to be fair.
He had a decent run. He had the US title, had the Money in the Bank. Yeah, he didn't do anything with it, but that's because he said some things that he probably shouldn't have done. If not, he probably would have been a champion already. But
But whether that's the case or not, in a sense, is irrelevant because it still doesn't take away from the fact they haven't had an Andre the Giant Battle Memorial winner who's at all, because you could say Cesaro's going into WrestleMania as the tag champ, but he had a shit year after he won the Andre the Giant. It's only this year now that he got with Sheamus, not literally. Well, I don't know what they do behind closed doors, to be honest with you. But it's only now that he started to, win the tag team championships and actually have a decent spot at WrestleMania. Lyle, I don't know. Let's do a prediction for this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. To be honest with you, I can't remember the fuck's in it. It's going to be a total guess. Now, there were some rumours about 4 months ago. I say it because I don't think it's a spoiler, because I haven't heard the rumours for fucking donkeys. They were saying that Goldberg was going to win the Battle Royal. I haven't heard anything about 4 months. I haven't read any things. I can't imagine that they get Goldberg out for the fucking Memorial Battle Royal. I tell you who I'd like to see, Mark fucking Henry come out, win it, and fuck off into the sunset after he's been inducted in the Hall of Fame. It ain't going to happen. If I had to make a prediction, I'm going to try and think someone is in it. Dolph Ziggler.
No, but Dolph Ziggler's he's too established.
Well, yeah, but then if he has a decent year, they can go, well, now we've had a good winner.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say being established is the problem. My proper prediction is Matt Hardy.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Because, he's got his brand new, well, not brand new gimmick. He's been doing it for a few years now, but it's new to what they're doing now. So it makes the most sense because he's the most relevant person who's been announced so far.
I can see that. What about you, Lar? Who you got?
Well, you've got Big Show's in there. It wouldn't make any sense for him to win it, but it could be a nice retirement gift for him, similar to.
What do you mean? No one can eliminate the Big Show.
Yeah.
Because you can never eliminate. You can never eliminate Big Show from a Battle Royal. He's just too big.
Well, they always gang up on him, and then he goes.
He's a Royal Rumble winner, and that's just because he's so fucking huge.
Yeah, you're right. That's why he's never won the Rumble. Did he win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? He did, didn't he?
He did. He won the second one.
It's just another pointless winner. It just was pointless. I remember watching it because there was was it Zayn or someone? That's the other thing. Pick a fucking NXT one. That would be smart. If there's somebody who's going to go in the Battle Royal, who they're going to bring up to the main roster after WrestleMania, have him win. Yeah, have Adam Cole win the Andre the Giant Memorial thing, and that can be a bit of a launch pad for him.
Well,
yes,
It's like for the women's one, my pick to win that is Ember Moon, but they've got Bayley and Sasha Banks in there. They're only in there to maybe kick off their feud even more. But
what do you think it's a missed opportunity that we aren't seeing Bayley versus Sasha at Mania singles match, Lyle?
No, because I don't think so either. But
I do. I think it's a massive missed opportunity.
If I want to see it at Mania, it needs to be for the title.
How are they going to wiggle that in the near future?
Yeah, well,
next year.
Yeah, but I just think that if the payoff is that it's going to happen in the fucking back, we all know what's going to happen. Bayley's probably going to eliminate Sasha, or some shit, or maybe they'll be the final two, whatever. But we know they're going to eliminate each other. I don't really want to be seeing. Well, I suppose they'll have a feud post WrestleMania, but the thing that people have got to remember, post WrestleMania, if I know the brand split is still happening, but if the pay-per-views are both brands, to get Bayley and Sasha that isn't for the title on a pay-per-view card is going to be a fucking tough deal. So it's not just going to be as easy as if it was just the Raw pay-per-views and the SmackDown pay-per-view. I think there's a missed opportunity there. I mean, granted, it would add another match to the card, but I don't know. I just felt like, I mean, if the show's going to be fucking 10 hours, then surely they could stick Sasha and Bayley. I just feel a bit
silly.
like...
If there's going to be any filler matches, it'll be R-Truth versus Epico and Primo.
Yeah, which they did. What did they do? Where was that? What was that fucking pay-per-view where there was 2 filler matches? Just announced, just there, and it just happened.
Fastlane?
It was Fastlane. It was fucking Fastlane. It was just bizarre, and it was like, what is going on here? You know, what? And it wasn't even on the pre-show. It was on the main show.
It was on the main show.
We'll talk about the women's then, because we don't really give a shit about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So women's one, you've got Ember Moon winning. Lyle, who have you got winning, Harry?
Ooh, this is more of a difficult one to call for me.
Yeah, I agree.
See, my first shout seems to be, and you'll probably find this a weird shout, but Mandy Rose. They seem to love her.
It's not a bad shout.
I'll tell you what I
They
think.
love Mandy Rose because she looks like Trish Stratus a little bit, and she is fit. But that is like
Fuck's sake.
that seems like one of the more logical shouts.
I
to me, is
would- I want it to be, and my prediction is Ruby Riott. I think
I pick Ruby Riott any day of the week. I think she's quality, but
her match against Charlotte was fantastic, and I really do hope that she post WrestleMania gets another shot at the title. Whoever the fuck, well, probably going to be Oscar, isn't it? Let's be honest. I hope that she's next in line because.
Finance recipe.
Okay, sorry, Asuka
Last.
as you got. So nobody's ready for Oscar's whatever.
Minecraft channel.
But Ruby, no, I think I like Ruby Riott. I think she doesn't look. The only thing I worry about is that she's not a stereotypical woman, is she? Not a WWE woman, and I do worry whether that's going to hold her back.
That, like, the fans love people who don't look like
Well,
they
yeah,
should be. I
know that, but what I'm saying is that doesn't mean that the hierarchy in WWE are going to allow her to, to be as good as she can be. They've done it before, and they've held people back because they don't like the way they look. That's what I worry about. It's not because I have a problem with it. Personally, I don't like tattoos, but I actually think it looks quite good on her. I think she looks scary as fuck. But I'm more worried about management or Kevin Dunn with his buck teeth going, I don't like fucking, tattoos or pale pill, and thinking, fuck her, basically. And obviously Vince will do whatever Kevin wants because Kevin's a cunt, really.
Someone's been listening to some Jim Cornette.
To be fair, I haven't listened to him for 6 fucking months, but he does make some good points, although he does make some retarded points. I don't mind him. I think his politics is fucking retarded, but who cares? He's a funny guy. I still can't believe they had him at the Hall of Fame last year. That to me is shocking. And he didn't say anything. I thought, for Christ's sake, Jim, say something. Say something.
Once he's inducted, he'll be fine.
I think that's easy. I think it's just a little bit bitter.
Oh, definitely.
He's a bitter old man. Moving on to the cruiserweight thing. Can we just be honest here? Do we watch 205 Live? I mean, I don't. Lyle, I'm guessing. Well, I'm almost 100% sure you don't. Harry, do you watch 205 Live?
I do, yes.
Oh, well, Harry, take it away. You're going to have to ask us the questions. You're going to have to tell us what the fuck's going on. Cedric Alexander,
so...
he's the black dude, isn't he? Or one of the black dudes? Oh, no, there's only one left now, because the other one got done for assault.
Falsely.
So, there's one left. There's one, falsely, to be fair.
Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. So the background to this match was there was a certain certified G, the G standing for criminal, called Enzo Amore, who was the cruiserweight champion.
Can't touch that.
He was fired for obviously having these allegations against him and not telling the company for 3 months.
Which can we just clarify that quickly? That was the problem, wasn't it? It wasn't the fact that WWE was saying that the allegations are. It was the fact he didn't disclose them.
Yes, that was why he was fired, which is fair. It's supposed to be policy that you've done like something you tell them. So what they did was obviously stripped of the title, fired him, and then began the build, which was the Cruiserweight title tournament, which is, in my opinion, the best tournament that they've done since the Classic. Right. That's where, apart from the Mae Young one, the two better ones they've done recently. And
there's a new general manager on 205 Live as well.
Yes, Rockstar Spud or Drake Maverick.
Was he in the division then? I genuinely have no idea. This is how much I don't follow.
He was in TNA, and he wrestled in TNA. But now he's come over to WWE and he's a general manager, but he's not been an in-ring performer. Right, he might well do. I doubt it. But he comes in as the new general manager, vacant Cruiserweight Championship, and he's like, we'll do a tournament. Right. And throughout this tournament, the people in it have shined now, and 205 Live has become actually quite good. And then the two finalists end up being Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, and they're facing off at WrestleMania. I wish Drew Gulak had got further. I wish he was in the final, but he's not.
I love his presentations.
He's very, very good.
So, who's favourite really? Who are we expected to win?
I reckon Cedric would win it.
See, I would think that he would be the favourite. I don't know anything, but I think they'll throw a curveball in and give it to the
Mustafa Ali win it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Mustafi. He's a good off.
Yeah. He's sick of Wenger, so he's decided to protest at Mania in New Orleans.
I wouldn't be angry if Mustafa Ali won it instead of Cedric Alexander. I'm just saying the more likely choice would be.
Is Triple H in charge of the creative now on 205 Live?
He's taken more of a charge on it, and that's why it's got better.
I might have to give it a watch then after Mania.
It's actually quite good. I do recommend watching it now.
From what you've been saying, it suggests to me that if I was watching 205 Live and I found out this match was on the pre-show, I'd be a bit pissed off.
I'm pissed off it's on the pre-show.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not just because it's two talented individuals who I'd say deserve a higher spot, but it's also a championship match.
Yep, that's a good point.
And I don't think any championship sort of deserves to be defended not on the main card.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like I say, I can't really give a prediction other than just going with my gut that for some reason tells me Mustafa Ali. Ali guy. The Ali guy. He's going to win. And he's going to win the Cruiserweight Championship. Lyle, prediction? I mean, again, it's just going to be...
Well, it's a toss-up, really, because there's two... I don't have a clue. Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
He's got a cool name.
You said Alexander. You said Alexander. Why are we calling that? Cedric Alexander. You said that, didn't you, Harry?
Yep.
Right, so there we go. That is that done. Moving on then to the main card. There are 10 matches. Let's talk about all. Not literally. Let's start with what I think. Being so it is. The WrestleMania's been named after him. I think Corey Graves actually messaged me on Twitter. I'm in contact with Corey Graves, and he did tell me that New Orleans, they're talking to the senator there about changing New Orleans to Rusev Orleans. It's Rusev Mania. It's the US title. It's Rusev Day. It's Rusev Mania. Every day is Rusev Day. Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, Rusev. Should I give more of a fuck about this match than I do? And does that show how bad the build's been? Now, Lyle, of course, you don't watch a lot of SmackDown, so you obviously are going to be a bit limited with what you say here. Harry, do you feel like this has just been missing? For me, every week seems to be the same thing. They come out, they talk about that fucking list. Then Randy Orton will RKO someone, and it would be that. There's really been no kind of build. I feel like I should give more of a fuck about this match than I do. The only reason I do care about this match is because of Rusev. who's just
I
been
feel
thrown in at the
like-
last minute.
I feel like since Orton won the title, the whole triple threat feud between Rude, Orton, Jinder was missing something. I knew there was something missing. And then Rusev wins that match on SmackDown to get inserted into the match. And that's what got people excited, because he has got the support of quite literally everyone who watches the program.
Sorry, Lars, but Harry's throwing a few shots at you there. No.
So I feel like that is what was missing. I feel like now he's in there. Now people are excited for it, and that's fair enough.
But do you feel like they were trying to? I feel like they did the cardinal thing that they always do in WWE. Is they try and insert a story when it really doesn't need to be one. It's about the title. They all want to win the US title. They might have their own individual, journey and story, but does there always need to be a reason? Because I feel like when you always got to insert a reason, you then have retarded shit like, because, the list and you weren't on it, Jinder, or Bobby, you were down at whatever, or Randy Orton, you were at ninth. It's like, are we scraping the barrel? If we're scraping the barrel that badly for ideas, just don't have a story. Just have the story about it being 4 top talent, 3.5 top talent, not giving Jinder Mahal that much credit, that want the US title. I don't know. Does there need to be a story for it? I mean, because the story's been shit, let's be honest.
I'd say story-wise, I do wish, in hindsight, they'd kept it as basic as possible.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are almost my favourite ones, is that desperation to win the belt.
And it's so rare now.
I'd say it's probably better. Throwing in things that don't make sense, essentially. It's what I like is the only journey I'd say towards this match that is my favourite, probably out of all the matches on the card, maybe controversially, is Rusev's.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's been underutilized for the majority of his run in the company.
Well, ever since he lost to Cena at WrestleMania, that since then he's been it's been shat on, quite literally.
Yes.
So do you think WWE are gonna go? We hear the crowd, we see it, we're putting the belt on him.
There is only 2 ways that this can go, and that is they do the sensible thing and the only logical thing, and they put the belt on Rusev.
Yeah.
Or they put it on Jinder Mahal.
I just don't like Jinder Mahal.
That's because you're racist.
It's because I'm a typical American, Southern American because as everyone knows, I'm from Tennessee, but I just find his character shit, boring.
He doesn't really have one.
He's on steroids, and anybody who tells you otherwise is fucking lying. Like, can we just talk about that story, Harry? You probably didn't hear about it, but you must have heard about it, Harry. When everyone was getting excited because there was this report that someone was going to release that was supposedly going to have steroid information about Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it wasn't Roman fucking Reigns. It was Reigns. I mean, fucking comedy gold. Loved it. It actually made me kind of a Roman Reigns fan, that did. Because even at that point, I was like, this is getting out of hand now. This Roman Reigns hatred is getting out of hand. That was like internet wrestling community giving themselves their own dick, which is very difficult to do. And I mean, I just couldn't believe. But anyways, going beside the point. Lyle, you're the casual fan, so there's big names in this match. Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Rusev, Jinder Mahal, obviously champion last year. On a scale of 1 to 10 on do you give a fuck about this match, 10 being oh my god, I'm so excited, 1 being I couldn't give an actual fuck. Where are you at?
Gonna go about a 6 because
it's high. It's a lot higher than I thought.
Well, it's I really want them to go with what should happen because everyone's behind him at the moment. He's got the momentum. Stick the title on Rusev. Whether WWE do that, or whether sort of like maybe Orton could retain it, then Rusev go 1-on-1. That could be something that might happen. But hasn't Orton completed the trophy cabinet now? He's held every single title, hasn't he?
He's a Grand Slam champion.
So there's no need for him to have the title anymore. We should just extinguish Orton. I'm not sure about, Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal being in the matchup. Having those four big guns in a match to potentially open the show, you're going to get the crowd hyped, I suppose. And if Rusev wins it, that'll be the perfect way to start off Mania.
I think that will start the show.
I disagree. I don't think it will start the show.
Well, you always got to disagree, haven't you? You've always got to. Who do you think's going to start the show?
I think a match that will be mentioned by you later on will start the show. I'll tell you which one it is.
Well, I was hoping that, because the only other matches we've mentioned, Harry, are on the pre-show. Obviously, we all want Rusev to win. I mean, that goes that side. Who are we predicting to win then? Lyle.
Rusev.
Harry.
I also predict Rusev.
I'm going to go Rusev as well. So it's a clean sweep for Rusev. Is it going to be Rusev Mania, or is Rusev Mania going to... Yeah, I couldn't think of anything quickly after. We will move on to another match. Let's do the triple threat tag SmackDown one. Usos, New Day, Bludgeon Brothers. Have they copped out by making it a multi-man tag match again, or do you think it actually does suit the story? I mean, the story really here is the Bludgeon Brothers have tried to murder the Usos and New Day, especially Xavier Woods, and for that reason, it's not going to be a singles match because they want both of them. The Bludgeon Brothers, I like them. I like Luke Harper. I like Eric Rowan individually. I don't mind the gimmick at all, to be fair. I actually quite like it. But like I say, is it a bit of a cop-out making this triple threat? Would we have rather a Usos Bludgeon Brother or a New Day Bludgeon Brothers? I don't know.
Because the Usos and the New Day have been on a pretty lengthy feud throughout 2017. Surely, to bring that feud to an end, both of them need to be in it. And you give it... I won't say who I want to win the matchup because, I didn't even barely watch the... What was it, Fastlane, the last SmackDown pay-per-view? Where they just messed
probably
everybody up, the Bludgeon Brothers did. I think it's quite a good gimmick they've got going on there, because I remember the ads, when they have a new superstar or a new tag team coming up, they always give them like a couple of weeks sort of promo. If you like, yeah. And I was excited about them, and now they're finally coming to flourishment in the triple tag match. Interesting
choice of words there, Lyle. Harry, it's one of those matches that I think will be a decent match, but again, I don't give too much of a fuck about it, to be honest with you.
It's not a match that I particularly care about, all things considered. Multi-tag matches tend to be ones that pop the crowd. As a matter of fact, I think this is the match that will open the show.
Yeah, as soon as I said the US thing, I thought, fuck. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be the fucking thing.
I think it's definitely likely that this one will open the show. I think it would have been more likely if it was a ladder match.
Yeah.
But what I think is they're going to really have the Bludgeon Brothers shine in this one. I won't say it'll particularly be a squash, but it'll be a convincing showing from them.
Right.
Especially, it's still a new gimmick for Rowan and Harper. And I'm definitely sure that they'll win.
Yes, so am I.
Because they've got to be the new big dominating team.
Do you think with a dominating team like that, it's always difficult to... It's like, how do you book a dominant team? Because they've got to lose at some point. They can't constantly win. And do you always think that's always the problem?
What I always say is look at the way that they've booked Strowman.
Yeah, but I mean, even people say about Strowman, when he starts to lose... there is a shelf life with those characters. They can't beat Pittle forever. There's going to be a point where they're going to look.
Strowman hasn't been undefeated.
No, he hasn't. But he's been making.
He's just lost when he's lost. It's been to big opponents.
Yeah, so maybe they could continue that. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I think it's harder for maybe a tag team. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, but I think I think the SmackDown tag division is better than Raw's because Raw's just the fact that there isn't two teams, there isn't a team that can actually face Sheamus and Cesaro of any competence other than maybe the Revival, but you have the heel on heel thing. I think shows how poor the Raw. I definitely think that the shake-up after WrestleMania is going to be crucial for the tag divisions because both tag divisions to me are very stale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's stagnant teams. There's no actual defined tag teams. There's, as you say, the Revival on Raw. There's the Bar on Raw. There's Braun and Braun Strowman on Raw.
Yeah,
and the Miz Taraj, and that is it.
Let's go on to that, Lyle. I assume that you think Bludgeon Brothers are going to win, or do you think someone else?
Yes, just before we do, I think that the Bludgeon Brothers are going to win. But if you think that they're going to start off the show, if there wasn't a stipulation, do you think, that's sort of going to be a downer to start the show, or do you think a stipulation is necessary to get the crowd hyped to start the show?
I think
necessarily.
I think with the Usos in it and New Day, they can do some fucking spots. And I think with Harper and Rowan, they can do, although not, the Usos can do these flying fucking stupid shit. But I mean, the Bludgeon Brothers can chuck somebody through a table, and that'll get their crowd hyped. I think there's enough there. I mean, I do think that it would be great if it was a ladder match. Don't get me wrong. But I actually think, to be honest with you, if I was booking the Bludgeon Brothers and they're going to win, I can make the Bludgeon Brothers look a hell of a lot better in a non-ladder match. I think it's difficult really to have them win a ladder match. Kind of feels a bit stupid. Yeah. Whereas if they win in a triple threat thing, it suits it a bit better, if you see what I'm saying. I don't know, Harry, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be a bit down on the fact there ain't a stipulation? Or
I wouldn't say that a stipulation was necessary for it to be exciting. I remember a couple of years ago an opener was a fatal four-way tag match.
Yes, I remember that.
That didn't have a stipulation to it,
and that was great.
It was a very good match. That's why I'm off of that basis. I'm going with this one will be fine as well.
And that had two of the teams in it.
You say that if it was a ladder match, it would maybe be worse. I do disagree.
I don't think it would be worse. I just think that the way. It would be a great match, but it just wouldn't be the best way for them to win. The best way for them to win is to pin fucking somebody in the middle of the ring, not climb some big ladder that,
Well, if they were to clear the ring convincingly and it would be just those two, then that does look also quite dominating. Also, the whole metaphor of them being above everyone else, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I do get what you're saying, to be fair. I don't necessarily agree, but I see your point. It wouldn't be a disaster if they did a ladder match, without a shadow of a doubt. They could definitely book it right, but I mean, this is WWE, so they make easy bookings bad. Let's move on then, if you're both okay to the other tag team match that isn't a tag team match as of yet. Harry mentioned it. I've heard again rumors from Corey Graves that there's been a problem with getting Braun Strowman over to New Orleans. Something about they couldn't both fit them both in the same transport, and they wanted to travel together. So it looks like Braun Strowman, is not going to be at WrestleMania. So Braun's going to have to look for another partner. I mean, how does that affect his psyche? The fact that he had Braun Strowman there, a couple of days away from WrestleMania, and now he can't have his brother. They're brothers by blood. That's got to affect Braun Strowman, and now he's on the search for another partner. I mean, who's he going to find in such short notice?
Who's going to want to partner Braun Strowman is the question.
Me.
You.
Or Alexa.
I'm hearing that rumours are circulating about potentially Neville, though I see that
I heard that.
Very likely. I wouldn't mind it at all. They've both got similar characteristics.
I mean, let's throw some...
Or Dead Rise.
Dead Rise.
Dead Rise. You know, I mean, I was thinking maybe Fiona Thunder.
Oh yes,
She's big.
cracking.
She's ferocious. You know, she's raw. She's not. You know, she's got a lot of work to do in the ring, but her punches are good punches.
Big,
You know, they
big
might
power moves as well.
they might be 10 foot away from the you know the person she's meant to be pretending to hit, but they're good, powerful punches.
Actually, promo work as well.
Yeah, I mean, great promo work. You know, total. I mean, incredible. I mean, she'd give Heyman a run for her money. But on a serious note, I've heard Mysterio mentioned. I've heard Batista mentioned.
Dean Ambrose.
I've even heard Bray Wyatt mentioned. Dean Ambrose. I think I'd probably be a little bit too soon. Neville. You know what I personally think it'll be?
Go on.
I think it'll be the Big Show.
That's just shit. Sorry.
It will be shit, to be honest with you. But
What I can see being is an older, big part timer, like a Big Show or a Kane, which is not what I want to see at all.
what about Mysterio? I wouldn't mind Mysterio.
I can't see that dynamic working, which I suppose is part of the appeal. But
That's what I mean. That's what
Isn't it similar
I'd like
to
it.
Team Hell No though? Could you see Team Hell No working, or whatever they were called, Kane and Bryan?
No, that is a good point.
it's Neville seems like the one that would work if it was a small guy, a small, quick, exciting guy. Because they've both got similar narratives. They're both like the lone wolf kind of character.
Yeah.
Is Samoa Joe anywhere near coming back?
Samoa Joe I think he's been cleared now, or he's close.
Would that work?
So could.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing that Joe is going to be tied up after with a feud with Roman Reigns.
Oh joy.
I'd look forward to that.
It'll be a good series of matches. They're both competent enough.
And they're both Samoan.
Of course, that is the main part.
The it's difficult, isn't it? Because other names that have been floated about. Elias, I've heard. For me, that wouldn't work.
No.
I feel like it's inevitable. It's going to be a letdown. Whoever it is, it's just inevitable. As soon as they announced that he had to have a partner, I knew it was going to be a letdown. I think it's just. I mean, people are talking about Batista. I was about to say I'd pop my clogs, preferably not. I would pop to fuck if it was Batista, to be honest with you. But if Batista was to come back, do you really think they'd put him and Strowman?
They would put him in a tag match. If Batista come back, I can see Batista Triple H being the match.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can see Batista Braun Strowman being a match, just not as a fucking tag team.
Strowman, just not in a tag team, yeah.
So who's the predictions for the fucking tag partner? I've said Big Show, Lyle. Again, it's shitting in the dark, really, or pissing in the dark. You don't know where the fuck it's going to go. You just got to hope, really.
Well, I'm gonna go with Neville. Sounds good, or maybe Samoa Joe. I don't know.
Samoa Joe, yeah. Harry.
I'll say Kane, just because.
Oh, God, that would be so bad.
Who's
I'd
going
like
to win
him.
the match then?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You know, they don't just set the bar; they are the bar. But you feel like if they bring somebody back and they're significant, surely they've got to win. But then, are they going to want? Have they got nothing to do with Strowman for the next few months that they want to do him in a tag team?
Yeah, but do they sacrifice?
I just
Do they sacrifice Strowman just to save the tag division for a little while? Because people like Strowman, and it's so dead at the moment.
The thing is, Sheamus has got that neck injury, isn't he?
Yes, he has actually.
And his in-ring career is winding down. I think that's why this was thrown together so shoddily. Is they need to get him out as quick as possible. So I think, regardless of who wins, it won't be long that they hold the belts for anyway, because he has kind of got to go if he wants to save his body.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. He's a stiff worker, isn't he? You know, I like him. He's a great. I think he's brilliant. So who's our money on then? Cesaro and Sheamus, or Strowman and whoever the fuck?
Strowman and whoever the fuck.
Yeah, go on. I'll go Broman Strains.
Yeah, no, I think it'll probably be Strowman, and whoever he is with as well. Shall we do? I mean, let's do the women's matches, should I say, for the SmackDown and the Royal Rumble. I think it wouldn't be unfair to say that Charlotte versus Asuka, is the more exciting of the two. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Quickly talk about that. A bit of controversy about the storyline. Some people criticising WWE for the storyline and what it's about, and saying, you know, they do all this be a star shit, and here they are having Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax. Now, so right, basically we had a little bit of a technical issue. I mean, I was just thinking we haven't had a technical issue. We had one. We're talking about being a star. We're talking about Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax. There's been some controversy about the fact the storyline's been bullying, and Alexa Bliss bullying Nia Jax, taking the mick out of her weight, and other stuff like that. Is this in bad taste, or is this just a wrestling storyline? Are WWE wrong to do it because of the bullying, anti-bullying stance that they take? Lyle, your thoughts? We'll go with Lyle first, and then me and Harry will give God knows what our opinion is going to be on that. I mean, I know what mine is, very strong, to be fair. Lyle?
It is a bit bad, but I feel, you know, it's made for a good storyline, I think. And although it's been a bit all over the place, and I'm not the most hyped person about this match, but, you know, it's definitely got me more interested in it, because I'd normally just fast forward straight over, you know. But in the last couple of 2 or 3 weeks, I have been stopping by just to see what's been happening, but, you know.
And that betrayal, fuck me, that betrayal when they were talking, Mickie James and Alexa Bliss about her. And, I mean, Nia's acting in the ring wasn't great, to be fair, but it was quite a good moment. It didn't rival Kevin Owens with the KO list with Jericho, to be fair.
Oh,
but it wasn't actually that bad at all. It was. I thought it was quite good. So you think, even if it is in bad taste, it's made you more excited for the match, so who gives a fuck, really?
Yes and
really,
no.
Yeah.
Because,
Just... No,
it's a fucking good story. It's a good storyline, yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Love it. Harry, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, yes, they've got their anti-bullying thing.
I tell you what, hang on, I'm just going to stop you here. If you steal my opinion here, I'm going to be so incredibly pissed off.
Well, I don't know what your opinion is yet, darling.
Well, you don't, but the way you just started it made me think, oh shit.
Please do. Please do.
Well, then we'll agree and it'll be beautiful. My opinion is, yes, they've got their bullying committee. However, at the end of the day, Alexa Bliss is a heel. Okay. So she should be portrayed as the worst sort of person that they should be putting out there. I think, you know, it's and the whole... Yes, I feel that they could have the story be Nia Jax overcomes the bully. But then, on the flip side, I don't like that, because I like what Alexa Bliss is doing with the title. So I can see why some people would be a bit of a snowflake about it and be like, oh, that's bullying.
That's the thing, isn't it, though? I agree, and the thing is, the whole thing, back in the day when wrestling first started, it was heel versus face. The good guy beats the bad guy. The bully gets beat by the person that they're being bullied. The person who's being bullied overcomes the bully. What is the problem with that? That's the whole fucking point. And these are the same people making a bitch and moan about this storyline, right? And the same people that want the Attitude Era back, right? No, come on, make a decision. Either you want fluffy snowflakes and Adam Rose coming out with his, you know, fucking party pill, or, you know, how is talking about the fact Nia Jax is a larger than life figure, which, let's be honest, she has a bit of weight on her. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. How is that? I just don't get it. It's made the story interesting. It's made me care about Nia Jax. It's made Nia Jax one of the fierce heels, now a face, which I thought was going to be an impossible thing. And at WrestleMania, whether you want Alexa Bliss to win or not is effectively irrelevant. The story, whether we like it or not, will be perfect if Nia Jax beats Alexa Bliss, wins the title, overcomes her bully, overcomes her demons. It's fucking done. what is wrong with these people? They want the Attitude Era back. They want people to be swearing on the television. They want blood, but they're offended because somebody makes a fat joke. What?
I think it'd be even more perfect if she loses, to be honest. I think that'd be fucking gold.
That would be funny. That would be funny, and that then they would have a kind of an argument to an extent.
I disagree. I disagree. It gives it more of a realistic spin. Because in a lot of ways, real life, the bully seems to win. So
they do so. Yeah, the bullies more often than not do win. That's why there's a lot of bullying, isn't there? Because if the bullies didn't win all the time, they'd stop fucking bullying because they'd realise they're going to get punched in the teeth. I think the story is perfect. I think there's nothing wrong with portraying a story like that. No.
I don't see why there's a problem. I can understand that, yes, parents may watch and be like, this may encourage my child to be bullied.
No, but it also encourages standing up, and it's not the parents moaning, Harry. It's the Attitude Era lovers. It's the we want blood.com.
No, but how often do you get a storyline where it's just, you stabbed me in the back, let's have a match? There's no storyline behind many matches nowadays that have meaningful messages and information behind them. So this is why I feel like this is a good, a good matchup, because it means something and it can connect with people around the world. The bully wins.
Or loses.
Or loses, yeah, that happens as well.
I think Alexa Bliss is going to lose. I like Alexa Bliss, but I don't really mind if she loses. I think it would be nice for Nia to have the title and then possibly Alexa to... Well, I don't know. I was going to say switch back to SmackDown.
I can't see that because it's blatant that the other women's match is going to go one way. I can't see both women's titles switching hands.
There's a lot of title changes happening.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, and there's got to be some title retentions on the show. I think this will be one of them. And that's simply because I do have faith in Alexa Bliss. I think she's absolutely fantastic at what she's doing. I don't think there's any particular reason to take it off her. Yes, Nia Jax has got that backing now, that whole Sasha Bully narrative, but on the flip side, Alexa Bliss is doing perfectly fine. I don't see a reason to take it off her.
I would agree. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. At the end of the day, I do agree with that. I do think that probably because of the criticism, they will probably take the title off her because they'll be like, we can't be seen to do that. And then the same people that are moaning about the storyline will then moan that Alexa Bliss is now not the champion. But what they won't realise is she's not the champion because they made a fucking fuss about it. I think Nia Jax is going to win. What about you, Lyle?
Yeah, I think Nia Jax will win. It's sort of... even though hasn't Nia Jax only won... I don't know where I'm pulling this statistic. She's only won like 20% of her matches since joining the main roster.
Crikey.
And now, she's in this massive title situation with a really good storyline behind her. It can honestly go either way. I don't think it's as one-sided, but I'd still stick with Nia Jax, even though when you analyse it and break it down, you can't really have that many titles changing hands on one night, but fuck it.
It's WrestleMania. Yeah. Anything can happen. Let's move on to the other one then. Charlotte versus Asuka. Asuka's undefeated streak. We thought the streaks were dead at WrestleMania, but they're not. Asuka's streak is there. Will she be beating Charlotte Flair? And there is, of course, and we should have mentioned it for the Raw thing. I don't know whether it's SmackDown exclusive. Mrs. Money in the Bank Carmella still has her damn thing. Is she going to cash in on the Raw one? Is she going to cash in on the SmackDown one? I don't know. I would be very shocked because I don't think they'll have Asuka's first loss from a cash in. But I don't know. This is probably one of the matches I'm most looking forward to, I've got to be honest with you.
Carmella's tried so much to cash in that flipping Money in the Bank. It wouldn't surprise me if she makes an appearance in the match somewhere, because she's tried so often and then just run away. Or it hasn't.
You haven't been watching SmackDown, Lyle, but are you pumped for the match solely just because of the names?
Yeah, we're getting this streak versus title, Flair versus Asuka matchup, and I feel it's come on, it's a
I feel
it's
lucky.
two.
I feel good. I feel lucky.
It's two absolutely amazing superstars
I'm going to
going
get
at
to my
it.
destination.
Fuck's sake!
Sorry, you made a good point there.
My excitement levels for this match are quite high.
You haven't missed a lot on SmackDown, to be fair. There's not really much of a story. But again, there doesn't need to be. They had a stare down on SmackDown, the last SmackDown before WrestleMania. It's intense. They both said a couple of words. Don't really know what Asuka said, but I don't often know what she says. That doesn't really matter. Does the fact that the match... Is the result set in stone?
Essentially, yes. But this is from a future point of view. Asuka's been undefeated for, I think it's something like 900 odd days now, and I can definitely see her winning the title, and indeed staying undefeated for at least another year. I'm hearing rumours of next WrestleMania, it being still undefeated champion Asuka versus Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, like they weren't a fuck Rousey up by that point. That is funny. Yeah, but I mean, do you think the fact that everyone thinks Asuka's going to win hurts the bout?
Not necessarily.
Because the question is, are they good enough? And I think the answers are resounding yes, personally, to make us think that Charlotte has a chance at some point in their match. Even though, because one of the times, always with Roman Reigns matches, when we know Roman Reigns is going to win, if he's I think it was a Cesaro Reigns match ages and ages ago on a tournament thing that we all knew Roman Reigns was going to win, but there was still on that match on Raw moments where you thought, hang on a minute, they're going to do the unthinkable here. Do you know what I mean? And are they good enough to be able to give us those moments where we think, holy shit, Charlotte's going to win it here? I think they are.
I think of all the women, it would be Charlotte that could evoke that most.
Yeah.
Because she is seen as like the alpha female.
Well, definitely.
So, I mean, I think it will definitely be close, and I think the match itself will be quality. And yes, I think there will be moments where people go, holy shit, Charlotte's going to do this.
Is it match of the year? Is it match of the night? A big shout.
It could be if given time.
Yeah.
And if they're both allowed to sort of pull out all the stops, because Charlotte's got a lovely moonsault on her.
That is one of the best moves in WWE.
It's like a Kurt Angle one. So
yeah, it's I think the thing. I don't think it's going to be match tonight. I think it'll be good. I think it'll probably get 15 minutes or so. But I do worry that the fact that Asuka or Oscar, what the fuck she's called, and we know the fact she's going to win might just hurt it a little bit. But because let's be honest, it hurt the mixed match challenge, which I didn't watch because we all knew she was going to win. It's hurt any match on Raw. I fast forward because I know the outcome. She's not going to lose the streak on fucking Raw. And unless she's facing somebody that I really genuinely give a shit about, I'm not probably going to watch the match. But, was this the best option, or was Alexa Bliss, Oscar a better match in your opinion on paper? I think they've made the right call personally.
Yeah.
I think compared to the alternative, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who have we got then? Oh, well, that's pointless saying. Nobody is ready for Oscar. Let's move on, though, to the IC title match, because then we're into the big four, as I like to call it. And as the WWE will book it, they're all main events. Now, how that's possible, I don't know, because the main event's the last match. But according to WWE, you can have multiple last matches. As we saw last year, there were about 100 main events. Let's talk then very briefly, because we want to get onto those big matches, and I'm conscious that this podcast is going on long, but we'll try and upload it tomorrow, Friday, so there should be time for people to watch it. Miz, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. It's one of the matches I'm really friggin' looking forward to. I don't know if it's because the talent involved. I don't really give a shit about Finn Balor, if I'm being totally honest with you. But Seth Seth Rollins is on a fantastic run. The Miz is the best heel in the company, in my opinion. Finn Balor bores me to fucking shit. He can't talk on the mic. He's a bit better than average in the ring. But I think it's going to be a really, really good match. Who's going to win? This is where I personally think Seth Rollins and Finn Balor are going to screw each other over somehow. They're going to go off on their little feud, and Miz is going to win it. I think he is going to become the longest reigning IC title combined. And I think this will be one of the titles that is retained. But again, the story's been decent, average, I suppose, in Miz TV. There's been a few shots. Miz has said some funny fucking things. Obviously, he's just a new baby, so that's fantastic news for him and Maurice. Thoughts on the story, the match, the everything. Give your thoughts, your rundown. Harry, will go with you first on this one.
I think this is going to be match of the night potential.
Ooh.
That is because when it comes to pure in-ring talent, this probably has the highest grade performers in it.
Bar probably Nakamura Styles, but yeah.
Oh, that is definitely going to be the other contender.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Seth Rollins, I think he is top 2 or 3 performers in the company right now.
100% fucking agree.
Finn Balor, I know you don't rate him that highly in the ring, but when given the chance, he's very, very good. And this is coming from me because I'm a total indie mark, aren't I?
Yeah.
I think when he's given the creativity to do what he wants to do, I think he's again top echelon. And Miz can also hold his own in the ring very well as well as being very, very charismatic.
And it's a triple threat, which adds that other dynamic. I mean, because you can have 3 average wrestlers who can have a really good triple threat match. So the fact we've got 3 good wrestlers in there, it should be a recipe for a really freaking good match.
I think they're all 3 that know each other quite well. They've all had matches with each other. They've had enough time to get to know each other and the way they move in the ring. So there's no reason why it would be at all sort of uncoordinated and awkward.
And Miz is piss easy to work with anyway. At least that's the impression I've got.
He seems to be that way, yes.
Who's your money on then?
I'm saying
I was thinking Seth, and then I was thinking Seth, and then he obviously beat Balor on Raw, which made me think.
Yeah, that's why I changed my mind.
So you think it's gonna be Balor, Harry?
Balor, yeah.
Lyle.
Just to say, you touched on, the Miz is closing in on the most days as Intercontinental Champion, but if he's also closing in on. He needs to win the Intercontinental Champion one more to tie with Chris Jericho's record. So it makes sense for him to hold it, and it also makes sense for him to lose it and then regain it. What's the next one? Backlash or whatever it is? If that's the route they want to go down. Go on.
I was just thinking that, for me, surely Rollins Balor is the plan post-WrestleMania, whether the title's there or not. And Miz is going to go off and do whatever, whether that be with the title or not. That's surely... But that's why I think Miz is going to win. Because if the plan's Rollins Balor and Miz loses a title, well, Miz is going to want his rematch, so the plan can't be Rollins Balor.
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
That's a good point, actually.
That's my only logic, but I don't know.
So you're saying the only way that they can go Rollins Balor...
and obviously I'm banking on that's the plan. That might not be the plan.
Yeah.
But I just think that might... I don't know why.
Unless he has his rematch on the Raw after WrestleMania.
He could do. That's not a bad shout.
He won the title once on a Raw after WrestleMania by poor old Zack Ryder.
Oh yeah, that didn't go down well.
No, it did not.
Who's your money on then, Lyle?
Finley Balor, unfortunately.
So two Balors, 2 Mizes. But is this... We all seem quite excited about this match. Out of everything we've said so far, bar probably Charlotte and Asuka, this is probably the match we're most hyped for.
Yes, up until now, I'd say, yeah.
So let's get into the big 4 then, and let's see whether are hyped for these matches. Well, they should be the 4 matches we're most looking forward to. The question is, are they? Which mixed thingy do you want to do first? So, one of you pick. I really don't care.
I don't mind.
Brian.
I don't mind.
Brian. So Daniel Bryan has come out of retirement. Unfortunately, the GOAT couldn't retire permanently. Well, I say unfortunately. I mean, I'm not a lover of Daniel Bryan, but in ring he's great, and I am happy for him to come back. But me and Harry had a discussion the other day. I'm genuinely concerned that it's going to go terribly wrong for him again. And I do. When he came back last time, I didn't enjoy his matches because every time he did anything, I thought he was going to break his neck and die in the ring. So I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, because you're going to be so on the edge of your seat because it's
not in a good way. So Shane, Daniel, Kevin, Sam. For me, this match has the meatiest story. Whether you like it or not, it has the meatiest story. It's one of the longest stories, bar probably Reigns Lesnar. But in regards to intensity and how it's been a regular one, whereas Reigns and Lesnar happened and then nothing happened and now it's restarting again. Whereas this has been consistent, and there's so many ways it could go. Kevin could screw Sammy. Shane could screw Brian. Brian could there's so many things that could happen in this match. It obviously is a tag match. Owens and Zayn rehired if they win. If they don't, they're not. Daniel Bryan being the general managers. There's so many aspects to this match. Are we excited about this match, or do we not really care about this match? Is it a waste of talent, or is it a good use of talent?
If they didn't have the meaty storyline behind it, maybe because it's in-ring action of being fired, and also Brian coming back into in-ring action, that makes me a little bit more excited because I am excited to see Brian back in the ring. But as you say, I'm going to be fairly nervous because hasn't Blummin Shane also had a hernia operation as well?
Yeah.
How is that going to work? So I'm leaning towards Sami Zayn and Owens taking the win because why would that?
The other two will probably die in the ring.
Yeah, pretty much. And is McMahon going to screw Brian over? Because in the storyline, there's also been that tension between those two. And that's been going on for absolutely ages. And now
they hugged it out on SmackDown, though, to be fair to them now. Did hug it out this week.
It all we all seems know that those a bit hugs awkward. It could go either way. As you say, it would set up Zayn and Owens to go for a feud, but they can't because they'll be fired. If they are great together. I love them together. Yeah, they're so good on the mic as well. When they were stood up on the blooming commentators' table, how they flowed well between each other.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant.
And then blooming McMahon came in and it was all awkward.
I will put it out there right now. I think Zayn and Owens will win. Purely based on the whole stipulation surrounding the match. They're not going to have them storyline fired for,
Yeah, they could go to Raw. That's the only
also
thing.
The fact that, yes, Daniel Bryan's on the opposing team, but Shane McMahon is. And there has been, not many times where Shane McMahon has recently been in a match and won it. He's purely in there to elevate other talent.
Do you think he does that well?
I can see Shane taking the pin in the match, and then perhaps afterwards, maybe SmackDown after it would be maybe a heel turning on Bryan, firing him as general manager, but that obviously frees him up to be full-time in-ring talent again.
What do you...
Go on, Harry. Low.
What's your what's your thoughts on? I wouldn't say then WWE necessarily forcing the McMahons down our throats to be in important matches, but they are involved in 2 matches that are higher up in the card, if you see what I mean. And Shane has been in a couple matches for years now in WrestleMania.
But he's a draw. Both of them are. But the name McMahon is a draw. It always elevates the match. People say it's a waste of talent when Shane, last year. I'm not getting the whole Shane McMahon, AJ Styles thing last year, but it really wasn't a waste of AJ, in my opinion. He wasn't going to be going for the title, so rather than having it in some match with whoever the fuck, we put him in a match here, and look where he is this year. He's now main event in WrestleMania. It's worked. Everything that I said has worked. So the fact that and granted, the fact that he's champion and going into WrestleMania champion has maybe looked like I was talking some sense, but the point remains. I don't think it looks bad on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The fact they're in the ring with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, I think it elevates them. I think it makes them look good. I think this has been the big storyline on SmackDown. It's been enjoyable in parts. It's been crap in other parts, but it's a very good storyline. There's a real story there. It's unpredictable. We don't know what way it's going to go. There's so many different ways it could go. There's stipulations there on both points, really. There's the added real life element to it as well. The fact it's a tag match and the fact that they're going to have to tag in probably will let it down a little bit. But I think it's going to be a good match. We'll see some good spots in it, no doubt. And I don't have a problem with Shane McMahon having a match at Mania so long as he's fit enough to do it, and a McMahon having a match every now and again. For me personally, it's not a problem, and I don't honestly see the problem with it. And I do think he elevates Pittle. And being in a match with a McMahon shows that with the company, you're very, very respected because the McMahons don't face anyone. I don't know what you think about the whole situation, Harry. I'm going for Owens and Zayn to win. To be honest with you,
I also am going for Owens and Zayn. I feel, and this is another controversial opinion. Cool. Yes, there was pictures of Shane in hospitals and things like that.
It's bullshit.
I think I'm hearing that the whole hernia diverticulitis thing was a work,
right,
to put the whole thing into sort of more jeopardy.
Right.
But just to make it seem like both men on that team are vulnerable, because realistically, no one's going to be medically cleared from.
No,
those two,
that is what I thought. That is exactly what I fucking thought.
I mean, let's be real. You had surgery a few weeks ago, and you've still been cleared. So
no, I've still been cleared to return to action.
No, you haven't yet. So it's a strange one. It's been the marquee storyline on SmackDown. Maybe not on purpose. I feel like the title feuds should always overtake the lower feuds, but this one's always been the main sort of showcase. Whether that's down to the charisma of Owens and Zayn remains to be sort of seen. That's up for debate. But I feel like Shane's only in the match to take the pin.
Have you enjoyed the storyline?
Oh yeah, it's definitely been sort of the most prominent one, and that's for the reason. It's because it's the one that's everyone's sort of paying attention to the most, enjoying the most. And
it's kind of kept SmackDown afloat when it's been shit recently for the last year, really, isn't it?
Yes.
So do you think that, some people criticise Shane McMahon and like I was saying about the McMahons getting spots. Do you think this is a waste of Kevin Owens and Sammy, or do you think to be actually, being in a match with McMahon does elevate you and show that the company clearly respects you type thing?
I feel given the position that they're in, looking at the other matches on the card, you've got the WWE title match, you've got obviously AJ Styles, Nakamura. That's the title match people wanted to see. I can't see them fitting in anywhere, and that's the kind of place that they would deserve to be other than this.
It's just because it's as big as a bigger match that it was ever going to. If they can't be in a title match, this is as big as it's going to get. This
is as big as it would get apart from that, and I think
putting them in the
match with Kane just goes to show how much faith they have in those two as performers.
And you can't have 20 superstars in the main event of WrestleMania every year. People are going to miss out. It's just naturally going to happen. So I think go on.
What it is it's an honour for them both to have not only Shane McMahon in there, who is Vince's son. This is a big match. It's important. It's a McMahon, but also a returning Daniel Bryan, which is a very, very big deal. I think having it for those two is sort of, that's sort of an honour for them both.
I totally agree. Lyle, who have you got for this match before we move on to the other?
I have got Owens and Zayn. Can't see them really, being socked away just for a Bryan and McMahon win.
Angle, Rousey, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. Again, story has been well, not as intense as the thing, but I actually think I've liked the story. I've enjoyed how they booked Rousey. There's obviously clearly a problem in regards to her on the mic, and maybe Heyman post WrestleMania if what happens in the Reigns Lesnar match happens. Maybe Heyman could be her manager. I think she certainly needs one. Again, this story is an ongoing one. It really started with Kurt Angle and Triple H. Well, actually, to be fair, it really started WrestleMania's back, didn't it? When Rousey did whatever she did to Stephanie McMahon back then. I think the way they've booked her with the training stuff and the training videos, I thought the segment on Raw, albeit slightly a little bit too long, was decent. Rousey missed her mark on the promo a tad, but, you know, it's going to take time for her on that front. She is a badass bitch. She doesn't need to say too much at all. I'm looking forward to this match. I was going to Rousey's first match, Angle in the ring, Triple H and Stephanie. You don't get to see her in the ring that much, so it is kind of exciting. What do we make of all of this then? We'll just sum it up however you want. Who do you think's going to win? Sum the whole thing up, sum the whole storyline up, Rousey's booking, etc. Because this is one of the big... This is the one that they're marketing as the one to get you to watch WrestleMania.
I think that it will be, for a start, I think Kurt and Ronda will win. I think Ronda's going to go on a similar path to Asuka in that she'll be undefeated for at least a year, perhaps beyond. I think they're going to bill her as the female Brock Lesnar. That only makes sense. As for the build, it's been okay. I feel like the only thing that's let it down is her ability on the mic. I think that can all be fixed though with Paul Heyman's magic. I feel like Kurt Angle was simply thrown in there as an emergency. I think sort of the build from WrestleMania 31, it was her and The Rock. I feel like they would have wanted to have it be Triple H and Stephanie versus Ronda and The Rock. I feel like The Rock wasn't available to be in ring.
But the storyline makes more sense, surely, with Kurt Angle.
Does now, considering what happened at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But I feel like, again, that was just to save the spanner being thrown in the works or the shit hitting the fan.
Yeah, yeah, I see your point.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the match. Any sort of match with Kurt Angle in it is, you know, one to look forward to. He's still got it. He's 46, and he's, you know, still able to do things he was able to do when he was a lot younger. Triple H will go.
Do you think Angle and Triple H will carry the match? Or
I have a feeling, yeah, because no matter what they present Ronda to be in those training videos, I don't think she'll be particularly high in the standards of in-ring ability.
No, Stephanie. It's not as if she's in there with a worker who could carry her.
Worker. I have a feeling that it will be predominantly the men to put on the quality of the match, but I feel like for pure spectacle, it'll be Ronda.
Yeah, I think
throwing Stephanie about.
Yeah, I think they're gonna carry the match, and I think obviously Rousey will have the end cameo, but there's gonna be some spots in between with Rousey. I would expect. I mean, I don't expect, bar this match, in the next few months, probably until SummerSlam, Rousey to have a match that goes much longer than 5 minutes.
I guess that's why I'm saying that she'll be portrayed like a female Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. I don't think until SummerSlam, when maybe she meets a Charlotte or an Oscar, or they held that after wherever. But until then, I can't see her going too long. I don't think she's going to be bad in the ring at all, to be honest with you. Because I think she'll make the transition well. Because somebody said to me, Brock Lesnar made the transition. I went, no, Brock Lesnar was a wrestler who became a UFC fighter and then came back to wrestling. Rousey was a judo Olympian. Then she made mixed martial arts, obviously, which is part of judo, of course. But then she went into MMA and the UFC and cage fighting, and now she's coming to wrestling. I think the way she's done it, she should have no problem with the transition. It's just gonna take some time, but I don't necessarily think Stephanie McMahon's going to be the perfect person for her to do that. But Stephanie McMahon essentially is a bit of a ragdoll for her. And then she can work with some better workers, at the next pay-per-view, granted only for a few minutes. And by the time she needs to have a big match, she should be in a position where she's capable of being able to have a match.
This is the scenario that makes the most sense, because you need to have Rousey face someone in her first match who is high profile, yet also not going to be someone who's going to be particularly diminished by being squashed.
Which is inevitably going to happen.
Where Stephanie McMahon does fit that profile pretty perfectly.
Some people have said that Rousey's been forced down our throats. Do you agree or not agree with that? For me, it's a huge signing for WWE, and I think it's just half the reason why wrestling fans can never have good things. Because even when we have good things, we still moan about them. I don't think she's been forced down our throats at all. I think they've done the promo packages, which I think have been good. I think she's getting over with the crowd. Obviously, the mic work's the only problem. I don't even think the story's been forced down our throats that much.
She's not even been on Raw that much.
No, I think it's been done really well, actually. I've enjoyed the training videos. I think the promo packages are good. I think the story's there. There's different aspects. Again, you could get Rousey screwing Angle and joining the Authority. So again, there's a lot of different things that could happen. Lyle, as more of the casual fan, do you think Rousey's been forced down our throats, or do you think, well, hang on a minute, if you're not going to force Rousey down our throats, then you've got to make her a big deal, because she is, as they say, Ronda friggin' Rousey. Go on.
It's as you say, it's Ronda Rousey. For there not to be an element of her being sort of centre of stage, but I don't even think she's been on. She hasn't been on every single week, has she? So for her to be forced down our throat, she'd have to be there every single week, doing something or other. But for me, I hope that it isn't just all, because in these mixed tag matches, it's always just you see the men and doing the fighting, the main part of the match just being the men. I hope it isn't that. It's, as you say, it's perfectly set up because it's Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, who are very high profile, and they can take the loss. And it's Stephanie's the perfect person for Ronda just to go absolutely ham at. I also want to see a good portion of the match actually being Angle and Triple H, because I feel that they can definitely make this match stick in our minds when we come to the end of Mania 100%. If they have a good segment in the match. Also, as well, when Ronda Rousey first came, when did she debut? Well, she came out at the end of the Royal Rumble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it at the time Alexa Bliss and Charlotte stood in the ring?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then
and
Asuka. And now she's doing this, which maybe is pointing towards the direction that she wants to go in. She definitely deserves to be in a title match at some point over the next year, maybe. And as you say, her on the mic, she's not the best, but somebody like her who maybe has a similar figure to Brock Lesnar, she does the job in the ring. Maybe a Heyman figure once Brock Lesnar maybe loses at Mania could be good for her. And
you don't want someone like Ronda Rousey to speak. I really don't.
Because we know what she can do. If you see what I mean.
I wanted to say a line here and there. I don't want her to speak. If she goes out and cuts a massive long promo, I'm gonna be like, Ronda, what the fuck? Just say, I'm gonna rip your arm off, or I'm gonna break your neck, or I'm gonna shit down your throat, or something like that, and have a manager sell the fucking fight. Rousey's matches sell themselves anyway. Who's your money on, Lyle?
The money's on Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle to win it. I hope that it goes longer than like 5 minutes. I hope it's like more of a 10, 15 minute, but I can imagine it being quite short.
And hopefully, I agree, hopefully it goes 10, 12, 30 minutes. And hopefully it's a better mixed tag match than Miz versus Cena last year. Personally, that's what I'm hoping for, and I think it will be.
Because all that was is just the Miz and John Cena, and then they had
and that storyline was great.
Yeah, they had the two women, I felt, to build the storyline a little bit more, and then the men did business in the ring.
Yeah. I think to talk about Miz quickly, one of the matches I really want to see as soon as Daniel Bryan is cleared, Miz Daniel Bryan has to happen.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to we'll do Styles versus Nakamura, and then we'll do Lesnar versus Reigns. Styles versus Nakamura again. It's one of those where the story has been the title and the respect that they have for one another. Again, I don't know what you've watched on SmackDown Live, but the last couple of weeks, Harry, I personally loved Nakamura when he went for the knee, stopped it at the last minute, patted him on the head, and I fucking loved when AJ Styles returned it this week, not with the knee, but this time with a phenomenal forearm. That is simple booking, but shows that if you've got two talents that are over as fuck, that you don't need a complex storyline. The fact they're facing each other is enough to get people excited and get people pumped. What do you think of the build? Of course it's a dream match. We all know that. Of course it's going to be up there for match of the night. Is it going to underwhelm? Is it going to overwhelm? I don't know. Are we overhyping it? Who knows? But what do you think? Do you think the storyline, do you think they've done enough? Or do you think they've done a little bit too much? Would you want a little bit more? What's your thoughts?
I think, in all honesty, you didn't even really need the storyline to set this one up. The hype has been there since Nakamura joined the company.
Agreed.
And since Styles joined the company, it's always been, the minds have always gone to, okay, I want to see this Wrestle Kingdom rematch at WrestleMania between Styles and Nakamura. Yeah, it's for the title, which makes it even bigger. It's the match that's probably going to bring in the hardcore fans as well as the casual fans. The casual fans are there because it's Mania. The hardcore fans are really going to pay attention to this one because it's like two big independent people having what is going to be, guaranteed a fantastic match.
Match of the year candidate, surely. Do you think that they have? Do you wish they'd have drawn a little bit more on the past? And I know it would have been difficult, whether they'd have been allowed to with copyright and with, all the sort of laws that there are around what you can and can't use. But do you wish they maybe would have made a bit of a deal with? Because obviously Jericho fought at Wrestle Kingdom, didn't he?
Yep, the recent one, yes. I feel like they've mentioned New Japan Pro Wrestling before on TV. I feel like it wouldn't have done any harm to reference the Wrestle Kingdom 9. I believe it was 9 match between.
I'm not saying make the whole thing about that, but I would have just liked to have seen it referenced a little bit more.
Yes, yeah.
And spoke about a little bit more.
Especially since that match was big for both men. That Wrestle Kingdom 9 match was AJ Styles' last one in New Japan. He lost the match to Nakamura and was kicked out the Bullet Club and then signed with WWE. So
and that was at the height of New Japan wrestling, and that was where it was the shit. I'm not saying it's not the shit now, but
that was when it was mainstream. It became mainstream, I should say.
Is there any way, Lyle, that this match between Nakamura and Styles could disappoint? Are we getting our expectations up too high to the point where it was? I mean, I can't see them having a bad match, but let's say it's a very good match. But is a very good match going to be a bit disappointing because we're expecting match of the year, one of the best matches we've ever seen in Mania history? I mean, I'm thinking this has the potential to be as good as a Shawn Michaels Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
It definitely has that stigmatism around it because it's literally two of the biggest and best in-ring performers that WWE have at the moment, and for them to come out and maybe do a very good match but not an absolutely amazing match that everybody is expecting, it can happen. I don't think it will, just because of who they are. I hope that they have very good in-ring chemistry and they can pull off the absolute big moves. We know that they can do that, and if AJ Styles can do it with John Cena, he can 100% do it with Bloomin' Shinsuke Nakamura. And because Nakamura is one up on Styles from their days in Japan, that maybe brings AJ Styles to up his game even more, and it being WrestleMania and all that stuff too, that they're not going to want to disappoint, and I don't think that they will.
I'm calling it right now. This will be a 5-star match.
What about a 6-star match from Dave Meltzer?
No, it will not get 6 stars because Dave Meltzer likes to wank off Japan too much. This will get 5 stars because there's only been one 5-star match in a WWE in the past. Well, I'd say 5 years maybe. Not since there was Gargano versus Andrade Almas.
That was something.
5 stars. The only one before that recently was Punk Cena at Money in the Bank.
Which was again incredible.
Cracking.
And talking about that went long. That was about 45 minutes, I think, from memory. How long do you think this match needs? I think it needs 30 at least.
If it went 30 to 45, I would be fine.
I don't want to be in a 20-minute match. I don't want it to be in the normal 20-minute. I mean, I'm not saying they couldn't have a great match. I'm not saying they couldn't have a match of the year. But if we want to be talking about this match for in 50 years' time, right, when us three are in a retirement home, we're going, what was the best WrestleMania main event ever? If we're going to have this in our conversation with the likes that we've already seen, maybe the Triple H, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels special guest referee, and maybe the Shawn Michaels Undertaker matches as well. If we want it to be in with the shout there, this has to surely go 25, 30 minutes minimum.
And it's got to have different paces.
This is the one I can see. This will be the longest match on the card.
And it has to be. Surely it has to be.
Because they've got so many things that they can bring out the box.
The Lesnar match won't go more than 10 minutes max. The Lesnar match.
Oh, I can see that going 15, 20, but I don't. It depends time-wise, really. Who have we got then for Stars Nakamura? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go, is it going to exceed expectations, hit the expectations, so do what we expect, like I say, exceed it, or is it going to underwhelm and then you win? Harry, start with you.
I think it will live up to the hype. They can't hype this match up so much for it to not deliver. And I have faith in both men that it will deliver exactly what we want it to.
Who's your winner?
I'll go Nakamura, just because.
Do you think that it should have main evented the show? It's not gonna. Do you think it should be the last match?
That is debatable. I'd say no, not based on the fact of the talent of the men, but it's just that Brock Lesnar is the biggest draw they have,
and Lesnar reigns
so from a business
huge
point
story.
of view, I'd say it will go on second to last. Now that is what will happen,
and I think that's the right decision, actually, controversially. I do. Lyle,
I think that it's going to meet the expectations of. Like everybody is set for the match. I'm actually going to go with AJ Styles to retain the title in this match because
interesting.
Because if they went and did it for another pay-per-view after Mania, I wouldn't. It's not a match that I would get bored of. So
oh god, no, they could fight all year.
Yeah, so I'm going AJ Styles.
They'll be having the match again anyway. They'll be having the match again anyway for
the rematch.
AJ Styles' rematch.
For me. I don't know, it's difficult really because part of me thinks that Styles has a chance because of the amount of fucking people that are going to lose their title. I'm going to go Nakamura. I do think Nakamura will win it. I think it's going to... My pessimistic side makes you think it's going to let us down a little bit. And when I say that, I want to make it important. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying it's going to be a poor match because it won't be. But it would just be a very good match, not an incredible match. But I'm actually going to flip it completely and go, I think it's going to even shock us how good it's going to be. That's what I'm going to say. We move on then to the big one. And we're not talking about the big one from WA, who unfortunately couldn't make WrestleMania. But I think I fired him because I couldn't get around there in time to record the match. But, that's beside the point. We're talking about the actual big match. It's Lesnar versus Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Lesnar loses. Well, Paul Heyman's saying he is fucking off to UFC. If Lesnar wins, he's fucking off to UFC anyway. He's just going to take the title with him and come back when he wants to. My question is, and I say this here again, I was kind of against this match, but I was kind of the thought that it does kind of make sense. The match they last had, take Seth Rollins out of it, even up until that point, it was a great match. they're going to deliver again. There's no doubt about it. I think Lesnar respects Reigns. I think he sees him on a not necessarily an even playing field, because I don't think Lesnar sees anyone on an even playing field, but he sees him as a talent that is worthy of stepping in the ring with Brock Lesnar. For me, the storyline's been superb. For me, Reigns, I'm starting to like, and I hate myself for it, but I'll tell you why I'm liking him. His promos have been fantastic. He's not saying too much. He's being that arse kicker that we know he can be. And okay, he was being hypocritical when he said that, Brock Lesnar was Vince's boy. I mean, I did choke on my fucking cornflakes when I did hear him say that. Because I thought, hang on a minute, Roman, you took yourself here. But, I mean, I don't know why, but this, out of all the matches on the thing, obviously Styles Nakamura I'm really fucking excited about. And the mixed tags I'm both excited about. And the IC. But I would actually say this is probably the match that I'm most excited about. Am I deluded? Am I insane? I don't know. Someone say something. I feel like maybe I'm overhyping it. I don't know. I just think I'm just really fucking excited for it.
Maybe at the start of the feud or the storyline build-up, because everybody at that point was against Roman Reigns, but as you say, he has been growing on me because he's been throwing these really good promos, and it's not been PG. And
he's been making sense, hasn't he? He's been actually making some good points.
Which is 100% saying that Brock Lesnar's a part-timer and all this stuff, and either way, how does it make sense? Brock Lesnar wins, he goes to UFC. Brock Lesnar loses, he goes to UFC. I think it's about time he fucks off to UFC, honestly.
Ooh,
because
Jesus Christ. Goodness me, like, you are going to get Lesnar on this podcast.
Yeah, no, but come on. Where Reigns can take the title almost anywhere, and then because Brock Lesnar's seen as this unbeatable figure, but not to Roman Reigns, but then if Reigns wins it, takes it down the road for the rest of the year, we get
a title on Raw.
Yeah, we could. And I am excited about this match because the storyline has been good, and when Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns hit, it's honestly, like, when they go at it, it's like two trains colliding, and I hope that's how it is at WrestleMania. It can be, and hopefully, I've set the expectations for this match quite high. I don't think it's going to be very long. As you say, maybe 15, 20 minutes long. Does it need to be that long?
That's the thing, because with Nakamura Styles, we want it to be a finding out period for the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then it to slowly build up. This match, I want intensity right from the start, whether it be a fucking spear straight away or an F5 or a fucking suplex. I want intensity straight a fucking way. I want the pace to be completely high. So this match can't go 30 minutes because it's just not possible to have that intensity there. So if it goes 15 minutes, it's fucking perfect. If they're killing each other, chucking people 3 times, I want it to be fuck. I want this to be fuck shit. I don't think the crowd will boo it. I'd be shocked if they did.
If it goes any longer than 15 minutes, because these two hit F5s, spears, Superman punches, suplexes for fun. There's only so many times that they can do that until I get bored of it. It's different
before their bodies can't.
Yeah, it's different with Nakamura and AJ Styles because they've got so much stuff that they can do. They can interest me for half an hour, 45 minutes, but these two should just absolutely smash the shit out of each other and just go for it.
Because it's not a wrestling match. This is a heavyweight match.
Yeah,
this is Goliath versus Goliath. Like you say, they're like trains colliding in the ring. I don't want to see holds in this match. I don't want to see submission holds. I want to see punches, knees, suplex, powerful fucking power. I want to see those moves.
I want to see him break the fucking ring.
Well,
I completely agree. I don't think this will be the technical spectacle that the other match will be. It will go 10 minutes maximum, and it'll end in a Roman Reigns win. That is almost guaranteed. And I also don't think he'll be booed. I think he's been cheered in the Shield reunion, which admittedly was a flop, but
not through no fault of WWE. To be fair,
yeah, no, there was just Reigns
illness
got sick,
and
Ambrose
got
injured.
Yeah. So is Reigns growing on you as well then?
I wouldn't say he was never. I never disliked him. I think he's been decent in the ring. It's just his promos needed work.
His character. I think it's the fact that he was
I don't think that wasn't
babyface
a fault
bullshit.
of his. That wasn't a fault of his.
No,
I
no, it
was with
isn't.
him.
No, it wasn't his fault. The best things I like about Reigns was that promo he cut on Raw after WrestleMania when he beat Taker last year. That
It was
is the
5
Reigns
words, wasn't it? 5 words.
arrogant, cocky, badass. Don't want to meet him in the fucking sidewalk. Frankly, don't want to meet him on the fucking side of the road. I don't want him smiling. I want him beating people up. And you're absolutely right. It was 5 words. This is my yard. Now, was it just this is my yard? No, it was this is my yard now.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Absolutely fucking perfect.
I feel like if he continues the way he is, he's got a lot more confident now on the mic.
Yeah.
I feel like if he continues the way he is, he'll be totally fine. I think people have actually sort of got over the whole let's hate Roman Reigns for the sake of hating Roman Reigns.
It's like if you have a gay son, do you know what I mean? And they come out to you, for the first 2 years, you're like, oh, fuck, the church is going to have a problem with it, this and that. But then after the 2 years, you're like, I just got to accept it at this point. He ain't that bad. He still comes to the dinners. He's bringing around some good food. He ain't a bad cook. It's just time to accept him now, really. Do you know what I mean?
I think that goes, and that has now become the controversial statement of the day.
There you go. Whoever said that. Who said Cam was going to be first?
Me! I win!
Well done, Harry.
But do you know what I'm saying?
You can both PayPal me £25.
It gets to the point where it's just like, why do we hate him anymore? Like, it's not his fault. Do you know what I mean? It's not
I
Reigns'
think people have started to realise that, and that's why, I can see him, because, when he's had his other title reigns, they haven't lasted particularly long. I feel that now people that have grown to him, this next one he has can actually last slightly longer.
And they could have avoided this if they'd have just turned him heel.
Yes, totally.
Because then they could have flipped him face now, and you'd have had the Rock version 2 on your hands here. But instead, they've gone the long route. They've got to a decent destination now eventually, but it's taken them a long fucking time. He's always going to get booed, but that ain't a bad thing. I think that's perfect for his fucking character. Cena's been booed all the time. The fact that it's better to have a reaction than no fucking reaction, right? And think about when Reigns was when I couldn't stand him and none of us could stand him and shit, and not necessarily because of him, like we're saying, but when he used to have matches, I fucking would be down for that shit because I'd be wanting to lose so much that I'd be so invested in the fucking matches, like the ones he had with AJ Styles the other year. So invested in the match. I wanted to watch it because I hated Reigns so much. That is what I want. That intensity, that hype, that intrigue, that anger at the end of it where you want to fucking cancel the network subscription. Shit is trending on Twitter. They're booing him out of the building. It's great. It's everything that wrestling should be. It's the panto. It's the excitement. It's the intrigue. It's that, intensity. You can't not watch the next Raw because you want to see whether he's going to get booed out of the building again or what the fuck he's going to say on the mic that's going to wind somebody up. That is the whole frigging point, Shirley.
That is, yeah. And I feel like now the script has been flipped slightly. Now it's people that, yes, Lesnar's a big draw now, but he's not around. He doesn't seem to be interested at all in what he's doing now. I feel like people are now wanting Reigns to win this. That might be, well, maybe not.
Because even just solely because people want the title on Raw.
The title itself would be a big draw because they introduced it 2 years ago, and we've seen it rarely since then. It was like 5 times since it was introduced. Right.
What we'll do now is we'll do individually your final thoughts on WrestleMania. Anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to add, anything you wish you would have said before, because obviously I realise we're running out of time. It's probably coming to everyone's tea time. Who knows? There's a slight chance that all 3 of us could be watching this at the cinema on Sunday, although who fucking knows? We'll have to wait and see. What a night that might be if we could do that. But final thoughts, who wants to start? I mean, obviously I'm going to end because I've got to be the centre of attention. But, with what I've gone through the last sort of month, I think it's understandable, at least this time. So, Lyle, do you want to start? Or Harry, do you want to start? I really don't give a fuck.
Lyle, go.
Coming into this podcast and a couple of days leading up to it, I wasn't really looking forward to WrestleMania that much. but now we've analysed and picked apart the matches, I'm starting to feel a lot more excited than I was, and I hope the big matches like Styles and Nakamura, I know that one will deliver. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, I hope that one does, and as we've been saying, I hope they just go at it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, whether I'm watching it on my own at home or with you two at the cinema. Well, I'll just have to blooming wait and see what I can do there. But I'm really looking forward to this one. Let's just hope it meets our expectations, because it is so stacked this year. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it, to be honest. Go, Harry.
Love that.
I am excited for this year's Mania. I think it is the best card, as I said in the beginning, that there's been in a long time. I think it's the best balanced card as well. It's not too underwhelming and it's not too overwhelming. It's sort of that level where it's sort of perfect for both casuals and hardcore fans to enjoy. I feel like when it comes to Mania, this one will be the best received that there's been in years. And there's not really a match on there that I don't really care about. But I suppose that's because I watch a lot of wrestling.
Brilliant point. So you finished then?
Yeah.
So it's time for me to say we are only a few days away from WrestleMania. Like Harry just said, the card is stacked. It is full of people making their debuts at WrestleMania. The future is now. Whether you look at Styles versus Nakamura, that is a dream match. The heavyweight contest between Lesnar and Reigns. Daniel Bryan coming back in the ring again. Kurt Angle. Ronda Rousey making her debut. Triple H and Stephanie on the same team. Braun Strowman and whoever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. There are matches coming out of our arse. The show might be long, but it's going to be a good one. And us three, we might not be going to New Orleans, but we are going to Thetford Cinema, so you can come find us. We're going to WrestleMania one way or another. It is the showcase of the immortals. If you're a wrestling fan and there's not one part of you that's hyped for WrestleMania, there's something wrong with you. You ain't a wrestling fan. This WrestleMania has the potential to be one of the best ever. The question is, it's over to talent. It's over to the way they book it. Keep things simple. Let the talent do the work. And I tell you, you have a good WrestleMania on your cards. Will it excel expectations, or will it be a poor WrestleMania? Only time will tell. But one thing we know, even when there's a bad WrestleMania, there's always things to get excited about. It well and truly is WrestleMania season. We're only days away from the showcase of the immortals, the show of shows. It's WrestleMania 34, and it is on Sunday night live on the WWE Network for $9.99. Thank you so much for watching this hell of a long preview stroke podcast for WrestleMania. I hope it's hyped you up for WrestleMania a little bit more. Whether it's just, I mean, frankly, Styles versus Nakamura on its own, I'd be more than happy to pay $19.99 for, because that's how much it costs on Sky Box Office. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great show. There's bound to be surprises. It's WrestleMania. Like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, you ain't excited for it, there's something fucking wrong with you. It's this Sunday. We won't see you then. We'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next friggin' time.